What's good, Washington Commanders fans? This video is going to be a free agency preview of the Washington Commanders. You can kind of treat this as like a mock free agency, but it's going to be biased towards a lot of what I think they should do in free agency. So this is kind of what I think they'll do in free agency. So free agency starts March 16th. I think the legal tampering period starts tomorrow, Monday. So they can start negotiating, although it can't be official until the new league year starts. So without further ado, this is my free agency preview of the Washington Commanders. So a couple of notes here before I start. The Carson Wentz trade obviously made our cap situation a lot tighter. I would say that with restructures and everything, and obviously cutting Landon Collins, we're probably going to make around another $10 million. So we have like $12 million right now, and I'd say we can make another $10 million. So we'll have around $20 million to work with, I think, with restructures and everything like that. 15 to 20 million, maybe around the 16, 17 million range. So I also want to point out that a lot of people wanted Amari Cooper, but we have to remember that we're going to extend Terry McLaurin, and I don't want to take on that contract of Amari Cooper. I feel like receiver we can address in the draft too, because it's kind of really loaded with talent, the wide receiver position. So without further ado, let's get to it. So obviously we have to look at the players that we are going to re-sign. Get to my notes here. Okay. So obviously I want J.D. McKissic back, vital part of our offense, one of the best third down running backs in the league. I mean, I don't know how much that's saying, third down running back, but he brings a lot of value, pass catching, pass blocking, and he's a big part of our offense. Then we can, combine him with Gibson, Patterson. I mean, that's the way we want to do it. So I don't know how much money he's going to command. I'd say I kind of want him around $3 to $5 million. Anything more we got to be cautious about, but I think he's going to want to come back to DC, so I think we're going to re-sign him. DeAndre Carter, I want him back. Great return specialist, a lot of value as a wide receiver 4. A lot of value there, so I think we are going to bring him back. Tory Mctire was one of the popular camp bodies last training camp, showed a lot of upside, got injured. I think we're going to bring him back, him or Darryl Roberts, one of those corners that were kind of undrafted, or I don't know if they were like late round picks or something. No, they were undrafted because they were only signed a 1-year deal. So I think one of those guys we're going to bring back, Tory Mctire. I'll just say Tory Mctire. Joey Sly, he's going to be your franchise kicker. I don't want to go through another kicker conundrum like we did last year. So common sense, just bring Joey Sly back. Troy Apke might not be a popular option among Commanders fans, but he is a value special teamer. The fact that they did not cut him in 2020 proves that they want this guy. And I think they're going to re-sign Troy Apke as a special teamer. Bobby McCain, I can easily see them not re-signing Bobby McCain, but I think that they're going to maybe have a positional switch on Bobby McCain, try to play that Buffalo nickel role that Landon Collins did. Technically, he's listed as a corner. I think, like in the official depth chart, he's listed as a corner, which is weird. So I don't know if there's some positional flex that we could try with Bobby McCain. He disappointed as free safety, though. I can just say that. So I'm not satisfied with McCain as free safety, but he does provide depth and at the right price. I think we bring him back. And then Tyler Larson, I thought he stepped in pretty well. We can just resign him as depth because he stepped in very well when our starting center Chase Roulier got injured. Really was really impressed, and just resign him. You know, $1 million for 1 or 2 years, something like that. So those are the guys I have resigning. Some notable names: Brandon Sheriff, we're not going to get him. Cornelius Lucas, I heard he's going to want more money than we need to pay him. I know he said something like, I'm going to get what I deserve in free agency, so we don't need Cornelius Lucas. He's just more of a kind of a swing tackle anyways. Trying to see who else here. Notable guys. Adam Humphries, Dax Milne is going to replace him, and we can draft a guy in the 6th, 7th round. I mean, they're like the Trey Quinn types. They're not like, we don't need to be worrying too much about these slot guys. But let's move on now to the free agent market. Who do I think we're going to pick up on the free agent market? I don't think it's going to be a lot of guys. At least these are going to be the big names that I think that we're going to get. So, at least in the first 3 weeks. Anything can happen, after the draft, or whatever. But these are going to be kind of the big names in the first few weeks that everybody's going to be talking about. Here's who I think that they're going to get. Zach Ertz makes sense to me. Get him for, $4 million. Him, Logan Thomas, and John Bates, that's the best tight end group in the NFC East. And probably one of the top tight end groups in the NFC, if you ask me. That's a very dynamic group, athletically. Makes sense. Obviously, the rapport with Carson and Wentz makes a lot of sense. So let's just make it happen. Let's sign Zach Ertz. Linebacker, obviously we need linebacker. And everybody wants Bobby Wagner, Jordan Hicks. But I think these guys are going to be hot commodities. And I know some people say, why don't we just wait it out and see what these guys are still on the market. But I think they're going to go quickly. I think Bobby Wagner is not going to last a month. He's not going to last up until the draft. So I don't think that Bobby Wagner's of the world or Tyrann Mathieu of the world, I don't think they want to come to Washington. I think they're going to want to go to contenders. Frankly, I think Chiefs are probably going to try to keep Tyrann Mathieu, if you ask me. But I just don't see a Bobby Wagner coming to Washington. I think he's going to want to go to a team that's a true contender. Hopefully I'm wrong. I would love to have Bobby Wagner on that defense as our middle linebacker. But, I have a guy that's kind of under the radar. That Atlanta Falcons linebacker, Foyesade Olakun, or however you say his name, led the league in tackles last year as a linebacker, 26 years old, a lot of upside, going to help our run defense, which was our weakness. We're going to have Cole Holcomb, Jamin Davis as our outside linebackers. Our Mike linebacker will be Foyesade Olakun. That's a pretty good linebacker group. A lot of upside there. And I know not a lot of people are talking about this Atlanta Falcons linebacker, but I think if the Falcons don't re-sign him, I think we're gonna poach him, and I think that we're going to really make that linebacking core a lot better, because at the end of last year we were having David Mayo play. I don't want any of that. And Jamin Davis is not a Mike linebacker, so I think that's who I think that we're going to sign. Right guard is talked about a lot. Here's the thing. I don't think we need to sign a right guard in free agency. Here's why. We're not going to sign Brandon Sheriff because he's a guard, and he is not going to get paid $18 million to be a guard by us. So if we're going to spend half that amount paying Connor Williams or that guard from the Rams, what good does it do? We have to remember that we have to extend Terry McLaurin. We're going to have to extend one of our star pass rushers. We already signed Charles Leno Jr. I don't know about Chase Roulier's contract, but it doesn't make sense to sign a guard if we're gonna let go of Brandon. or if we're not going to re-sign him, why sign a guard in free agency? Let's just draft one. I mean, we already have Sadiq Charles. Wes Schweitzer can be a starting right guard. He can start at right guard. Eric Flowers can start at left guard. Sadiq Charles, he's going to, I think, transition to guard. We still have pieces along that offensive line. Let's just draft some interior offensive linemen. I don't know how good the guards are in this draft, but I don't want to sign a top dollar guard if it's counterintuitive because we're already letting go of Brandon Sheriff. Obviously we're not going to pay one of these guys Brandon Sheriff money, but even if it's like 10, 11 million, it doesn't make sense to me with our cap situation. Now, if we signed a Trubisky or something like that, maybe we could have room for a guard. I just don't see it happening. So we're not going to address guard, or if we do, it's going to be like a really low level guy, something like that. And finally, safety. We got to have a safety, free safety, ball hawking free safety. A true free safety. I don't know about Bobby McCain's a true free safety, or if he is, we can upgrade. I see a guy as Marcus May. Now, he's not the Marcus you probably want. I know Marcus Williams is one of these top dollar guys that are going to be out there, but here's the thing. Marcus May, we can get him for cheap. He's coming off an injury. He's still one of the best safeties in the league. Still a top 5 safety. We can sign him for a prove-it deal. $6-7 million. I know it's kind of putting a Band-Aid on the safety position, but let's sign Marcus May. If the Jets don't re-sign him, let's see if we can find another 6th, 7th round safety. Maybe we have another gem, and then we can see what happens this season. If he really balls out, think about signing him for a long-term deal. If not, let's let one of the young guys play and take his place. I know Marcus May is kind of under the radar too in the safety talk because everyone wants Tyrann Mathieu. I don't think he's coming here, but we'll see. I don't think Marcus Williams. I don't think we're going to want to pay that money, but we might. We'll see. One of those two Marcuses I want. I think Marcus May just makes a little more sense. I also forgot to mention the linebacker from Denver. I think he's another target we could get. I'm impressed with him too. I don't remember his name, but that linebacker from Denver. If the Broncos don't re-sign him, I think they might re-sign him, but we'll see what happens there. So that's kind of my mock free agency. Not a ton of big name moves because again, the Carson Wentz thing, paying him $28 million. If we could restructure his contract, make a lot of that into a roster bonus, we might have a little bit more room. We might even have more than $20 million in cap. I think it's not going to be more than $20 million. So I'm just kind of working around that number here. But I think re-signing McKissick and getting a linebacker and a safety. I don't think we need to pay top dollar. It does not make sense to get a receiver. We're going to have to extend Terry. And we have Curtis Samuel. Getting Amari Cooper did not make sense. I'm sorry. No matter if you restructure this or no. I don't think we need a guard either. Excuse me. Those are the things I want. McKissick, linebacker, safety, address those. Spend a little bit of money on those positions. We have to upgrade this roster. And tight end. Tight end's an honorable mention too. Let's get Zach Ertz or one of these athletic guys, O.J. Howard. I just rather take a chance on those than draft one. I mean, I know this tight end group is deep, but why not just get one of those more athletic guys in there? The more athleticism, more speed you have, doesn't hurt, especially with the quarterback we have now. All right, Commanders fans, that's my free agency preview. We'll see what happens. We'll see what they do. I'll make a video after the draft kind of recapping that and what we do in free agency. So, you know what it is. Take command and hail for life. We'll see you later.